Hi, I'm Robert Joseph, and this is a Robert Joseph Sewing Update. Hi, thank you for joining me today. I wanted to be able to update you on what I have been up to for the last few months. So if you didn't know, I have uploaded just a couple of days ago this pattern, which is for free. So if you go to my website, sewitlikeaman.com, and look in the top navigation and look for free stuff and click there, and you'll find the free strappy jockstrap pattern for free. It'll take you to the page where you can download the pattern and watch the tutorial to put this together. Now this one just has the pattern for the front pouch here, so all of the other findings here, which is the elastic, you'll need to follow the cut methods in the tutorial for it. So this is actually a one single cut of the elastic, so it does take quite a bit of elastic for this. However, you would be using about the same amount of elastic for the waist and for the leg straps. But this one just uses one continuous elastic strap and crisscrosses here in the front. The other patterns that I recently released are a cup brief here. I call this the skimmer because it just skims over your rear end actually. And it actually has a cup here for the front pouch. So there's that one that is also available. And then also I had been getting requests for the dual pouch, and that's what this is. You have a front pouch and then you have a lower pouch here that separates everything. And here, if I can pull this out, there is a hole for you to slip yourself through. Now I give guidance in the tutorial for this. I also give guidance if you don't want the hole. There is a slit method, which you can see here. This is just a small slit, which is actually less complicated to do. So just understand that this is probably not a beginner pattern. It's probably more for intermediate or advanced sewers. I just also want to mention on this is that I use a double fold elastic around the pouch area and around the leg openings. I have not had a chance to actually do a separate tutorial with using just regular elastic, but I will get to that in March. So those are now available to purchase and of course to watch the free tutorials on my YouTube channel here, Robert Joseph Sewing. So if you haven't already noticed that I've started putting intros to the tutorials, which kind of lets you know the amount of fabrics you'll need and whether it's in beginner, intermediate, or advanced level patterns. So I'm really trying to do a little bit more due diligence with letting you know about the pattern before you actually go into the tutorial. So you'll be seeing my face a little bit more. Also, I wanted to mention my women's side of my women's brand actually is Leslie Ann. So I've taken the women's patterns off of both of my sites and I've moved them over to their own site, and currently they're for sale on Etsy at shoplesleyann.etsy.com. And right now I have about 8 or 10 patterns up there, but I plan to be adding more. Now the women's patterns are different than the men's patterns, as the women's patterns offer illustrated sewing construction. I still do the video tutorials for the women's, but I'm not able to upload as soon as I do for the men's. Of course, the men's patterns, sewitlikeaman.com, you need the tutorials because I don't give you written sewing instructions for those. But again, check out my women's sewing patterns at shoplesleyann.etsy.com. And a lot more women's patterns will be coming to you in the coming months. Okay, so some notes about my sewItLikeAman.com website is that over the next month, this is March 2021, I've decided basically to take that month, or this month, as it's starting in a couple of days, and I'm not going to be working on any new patterns for any of my brands. I'm actually going to be doing a lot of housekeeping. So I'm going to be working on updating the website itself with some of the pictures, but also over the month, I'm going to be updating the videos. I've had some complaints, I know actually a lot of complaints about the music, or you can't hear my voice over the music and things like that. And so when I first began this, my first pattern I actually released in 2015. And so that video, those videos in 2015, 2016, and 17, I was still trying to get a handle on actually the whole video tutorial thing. So now that I've got a pretty good handle on it, I bought 2 new cameras, I have a much better setup, and I've listened to what you want and need. I'm going to be going back and redoing video taping, or what do you call it, shooting those videos, so that you'll have new, fresh videos, so you won't have to worry about any of not being able to hear me. So I'm going to be redoing a lot of those first videos right off the bat. So that would include the square cut, swim yoga trunk, the front pouch brief, the boxer brief, and probably the thong pattern. So those will be the first 4 that I actually redo the videos. Now, I won't be releasing those super soon because I've got to shoot all of them and do some editing. So just understand that I am in the process of redoing a lot of these videos. So the other thing, if you've purchased a pattern on my sewItLikeAman.com website, I've started putting the download links on the checkout page. So as soon as you check out and pay for the item, you get a thank you page, and that the download link should actually be on that page. You should also still get an email with the download links. So I started doing this because some customers have, either misspelled in their haste, misspelled their email address, and I have to kind of go back in and correct it and then send the email. What happens is on the back end of everything is I have to correct the user accounts. And right now I'm having some difficulties doing that. And I had to put in a help ticket into Shopify. That's who I'm using as my site hosting. So just to alleviate some further problems, I started putting the link on the checkout page. Also, for the month of March, since I've decided not to work on any new patterns, I actually want to go back and have a look at all of my patterns. I feel like some of the patterns, I don't have like a real cohesive look to all of my patterns. And as I've grown over the years, I've actually been able to really kind of finesse how my patterns are printed out. Like for instance, on the PDF download patterns, you're able to select a size and just print out that size and cut and tape that together instead of having all of the sizes at once. So I've just kind of recently learned the last few months ago how to do that. So I'm actually going to try to go back and redo all of those patterns so that you have that functionality. And that is only for the PDF patterns. When you order a multi-size mail pattern, if you want me to mail it to you, you want that big physical pattern so you don't have to print it out, all of the sizes will be on that one page that you receive in the pattern. And that's generally how patterns industry-wide are done. You don't get a separate page for each size. So just know that being able to select the specific size you want to print will only be on the PDF patterns. And it will take me some time. So now for those of you who have purchased my patterns on sewItLikeAman.com, you will get an update link when that occurs. I won't be able to tell you what exactly the update is. You will just get a new download link with the updated pattern. So you may have noticed already the change on my YouTube channel here, Robert Joseph Sewing, is that it no longer says Sew It Like a Man up in the top banner. And that's because I'm really trying to consolidate my brands. So I have this brand, which is the YouTube channel, Robert Joseph Sewing. Then I have the men's sewing patterns, Sew It Like a Man. And also my new pattern venture, women's patterns, the Leslie Ann brand. So I'm going to be actually consolidating all of those videos onto this site, and they will reside in their own playlist. So, oh, and I also forgot my sewing school. I know a lot of you were asking me about that as well, Apparel Arts Academy. So I took that down for the time being, and I believe I'm going to be relaunching that sometime in March. So you will have Leslie Ann tutorials, so like a man tutorials, Apparel Arts Academy tutorials, and then you'll have Robert Joseph Sewing. So those will be 4 different playlists, and in the playlist is where you'll find all the tutorials and all of the extras for those particular brands. So in the Robert Joseph Sewing playlist, what you'll find are all of my updates and any other like tidbits or tutorials that really don't fit into any of those other playlists. Like for instance, if I do something with how to turn a t-shirt into a boxer brief, which I actually have a video for, that may just go into the Robert Joseph Sewing playlist. But of course, you can always search for something. So just understand that over the next month and actually a few months, you'll be seeing some changes. Some videos may go away and some videos may find a new home. So I'm going to try to wrap this up now. I know it's been kind of long, but I just wanted to mention a couple of things about me. So first of all, I know that I say a lot, and I've had to endure me saying a lot while I watch my videos. There it is again, while I go through and edit the videos. So I know that I do that, and I apologize. I guess it's just part of my speech habits that I don't really work off of a script, and so it's just one of those things that I do as I'm talking, because I'm thinking at the same time that I'm talking. So I apologize if that irritates you. As I started watching myself, I'm trying to not say that a lot. So, and I also say so a lot, S-O, not S-E-W. So again, I will try to keep a cap on that, but I can't promise anything. The other thing that I also know about myself is that I repeat things a lot. And so you'll see me repeating things in the same frame or right after I do something. And that's because I've been teaching for a long time. So I taught college and university. So I was supposed to be repeating everything all the time. And that's not because the students asked me to repeat things. It's because the more that I repeat to the student, the more that it will actually get ingrained into their brain and as a certain process and a certain way of doing things, and also that knowledge starts getting in those cogs and wheels in their brain. So it's just habit that I repeat a lot of things. I know this has been kind of a long update, and thank you for staying with me the entire time. I've really been doing a lot of work, and a lot of that work is actually not pattern work. A lot of that work is all the behind the scenes stuff to actually get products starting to get ready. And I do have, a slate of products that I'm planning to bring to you over the next few months. But there's some behind the scenes that I needed to take care of, basic housekeeping on the way I manage my stores and basic bookkeeping. And then we had a couple ice storms here, and my power was out, and just, regular life stuff kind of gets in the way. So I've really been doing a lot, and I hope over the next 6 months that I can actually be bringing you a lot of what I've been working on, both for the men's side and for the women's side. So all of the links are down below. So check out shoplesleeann.etsy.com. That's for the women's patterns. And of course, sewitLikeAman.com for the men's patterns. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And then of course, hit the alert button or the notification button. Then you will get notified as soon as I release a video. And once again, as soon as I release a video on my YouTube channel, that's when a new pattern has been released. So again, I want to thank you for checking this out. And as always, stay safe and be well.